In this video, we watched Europe bleed its best talent, a continent that punishes productivity and pushes its smartest people away. Today, we flip the map. We reveal the 6 European countries that are doing the exact opposite, winning the war against the brain drain and, in some cases, even beating America. But beware, 2 of them attract huge talent but pay a toxic social price for it. The other 4 are true anti-collapse models. So, can the best of Europe really beat the United States? Let's find out. Welcome at Amazing Europe. Number 1. Ireland. The first country on our list is an anomaly. I must be completely honest, Ireland does not perfectly retain its native talent. In fact, thousands of young Irish graduates still pack their bags every year to move to Australia or Canada. So, why is it here? Because Ireland represents the ultimate poisoned miracle of Europe, hiding a unique mechanism, the boomerang effect. While Southern European brains leave and never come back, Irish professionals leave in their 20s but return in their 30s. Until the 1990s, Ireland was a poor, rural nation, famous mostly for exporting its citizens. Then, they made a brutal, brilliant macroeconomic choice, dropping their corporate tax rate to 12.5%. It was a direct, aggressive challenge to the high-tax, heavily regulated economies of the continent. The result? The world's capital flooded into Dublin. Today, Ireland is the European headquarters for Apple, Google, Meta, and Pfizer. The country boasts the highest percentage of young graduates in the European Union, with nearly 66% of people aged 25 to 34 holding a degree. They built an American-style corporate ecosystem right in the heart of Europe. But here is the dark side of the Irish miracle. By inviting the richest tech giants on Earth to a small island, Ireland completely broke its housing market. The influx of highly paid foreign tech workers destroyed the purchasing power of the local middle class. Today, an American senior developer makes €10,000 a month in Dublin, while an Irish junior graduate simply cannot afford rent. This explains their geographical arbitrage. At 23, young Irish professionals are priced out. They fly to Australia or Canada, where entry-level salaries are huge, to build cash. But around age 30, the Anglosphere reveals its flaws: visa nightmares, expensive healthcare, and crushing childcare costs. Simultaneously, Dublin's multinationals are desperately seeking senior talent. So, the Irish return. They bring back international experience, allowing them to instantly command €100,000 salaries. They use the Anglosphere as a paid training ground, then come home to cash in. Ireland offers the perfect adult compromise: American-level wealth combined with European safety, free schools, and extended family nearby. Ireland temporarily gentrifies its youth out of the country, only to buy them back when they reach the top. Number 2. Germany. Like Ireland, this is also a poisoned miracle, but for completely opposite reasons. While Ireland struggles to keep its junior graduates, Germany is an economic fortress that perfectly retains its middle and upper middle class, but silently bleeds its absolute elite. On paper, Germany is the ultimate winner of the European brain drain. It acts as a massive vacuum cleaner, sucking up hundreds of thousands of engineers, nurses, and doctors from Southern and Eastern Europe. It attracts them with high starting salaries, strong worker protections, and a robust industrial sector. But crucially, Germany also successfully retains its own native top 10%. A senior German mechanical engineer, a bank manager, or a hospital director rarely emigrates. They choose to stay because the German system is mathematically designed to protect them. Ironclad job security, excellent healthcare, generous family subsidies, and immense internal purchasing power. So, what is the poison? Unlike Italy or Spain, which hemorrhage massive amounts of regular graduates just looking for a decent paycheck, Germany only loses its top 1 or 2%. But that tiny fraction is devastating. It consists of elite academic researchers, AI visionaries, and ambitious tech founders. Why do they leave? Because the German machine actively punishes extreme ambition. If you want to build the next billion-dollar company, you hit a concrete wall. Germany has one of the highest tax burdens on labour in the world, creating a definitive wealth ceiling. Furthermore, its corporate and academic cultures are incredibly rigid. Hierarchies are strictly based on age and seniority, not raw merit. Add a notoriously slow, analog bureaucracy and a structural lack of massive American-style venture capital, and you get an ecosystem hostile to disruptive innovation. This is why the absolute elite of German minds pack their bags for Silicon Valley or Switzerland. Ultimately, Germany earns its spot on this list because it successfully defeated the mass brain drain. It provides a perfect, highly paid, and remarkably secure life for 99% of its educated citizens. But for the 1% who actually want to change the world, that comfortable safety net eventually feels like a cage. Ireland and Germany proved that escaping the brain drain comes with a brutal trade-off. But what if a country could attract the world's best talent without sacrificing its own citizens? Enter the true champions, 4 nations with 4 radically different, brilliant secrets to hacking the system. Number 3, the Netherlands. Welcome to the first of our true champions, the Netherlands. Unlike other countries, they are absolute masters at keeping their own. If you look at global workforce studies, the contrast is brutal. In southern European countries like Italy or Spain, a massive percentage of young graduates actively plan to leave their home country to find a decent salary. In the Netherlands, the desire to emigrate for work is consistently among the very lowest in Europe. Why do native Dutch professionals stay? Because the system makes it economically irrational to leave. In France or Italy, companies operate on strict age-based hierarchies. You wait in line and you only get promoted when your older boss finally retires. The Netherlands, however, operates on a famous flat hierarchy. It is brutally meritocratic and completely ignores age. A brilliant 28-year-old engineer can pitch an idea directly to the CEO and lead a multi-million-euro project the very next day. They treat young talent exactly like the Americans do. They reward raw productivity, not grey hair. You do not need to move to Silicon Valley to find a dynamic career because you already have one at home. But the Dutch did not stop at keeping their own citizens. They built a frictionless magnet for everyone else. How? By executing the most brilliant cultural hack in modern Europe. They eliminated linguistic nationalism. The Netherlands ranks as the #1 non-native English-speaking country in the world. English has effectively become the main language of business, and it's widely spoken in everyday life. You can land in Amsterdam tomorrow, speak zero Dutch, and become a senior executive. To accelerate this, the government used aggressive incentives like the famous 30% ruling, offering massive tax breaks to highly skilled expats to plug any remaining gaps in their workforce. The economic result of this hybrid system is staggering. The Netherlands is a true tech powerhouse holding a literal global monopoly through ASML, the only company on Earth capable of building the machines that manufacture advanced microchips. The Dutch defeated the brain drain through pure pragmatism. They realized that to stop their smartest citizens from leaving for the United States, they had to build an American-style ecosystem of rapid merit and globalism right in their own backyard. Number 4. Denmark. Our next true champion completely destroys the biggest excuse used by Southern European politicians. Taxes are too high, and that is why our talent leaves. Welcome to Denmark, a country with some of the highest personal income taxes on the planet. According to standard economic theory, heavy taxation should cause a massive brain drain. Yet the data proves the exact opposite. In the latest Global Talent Competitiveness Index, Denmark ranks in the top 5 worldwide for its ability to retain its own talent. Furthermore, according to the Human Flight and Brain Drain Index, Denmark scores a microscopic 0.8 out of 10. To give you some context, the global average is around 5, and countries facing mass emigration score much higher. In short, almost no native Danish professionals are leaving their country to seek a better life elsewhere. How is this mathematically possible? Because Denmark proves that smart people do not flee high taxes. They flee high taxes that provide zero return on investment. When an Italian or a Spaniard pays taxes, a huge percentage goes to paying off massive national debt and sustaining an unsustainable pension system. They are paying for the past. When a Dane pays their 45% income tax, they know exactly what they are buying: the future. Denmark has an incredibly low public debt, hovering around just 30% of its GDP. The state is extremely wealthy and efficient, but the real secret weapon keeping the Danish youth at home is a labour market model called flexicurity. It is a hybrid system that sounds impossible. On one side, it is flexible. Danish companies can fire employees almost as easily as companies in Texas. But on the other side, there is absolute security. If you lose your job, the state pays up to 90% of your previous salary for up to 2 years while aggressively retraining you. This eliminates the fear of failure. Young Danes are not terrified of changing jobs or launching a startup because the safety net is absolute. This fearless environment is exactly what allowed Denmark to create global corporate giants like Novo Nordisk, the pharmaceutical behemoth that recently became Europe's most valuable company. Denmark proves that you do not need American-style low taxes to keep your smartest people. You just need a state that actually works for them. Number 5. Sweden. Many people still think Sweden is the ultimate triumph of socialism. In reality, Sweden's mentality is deeply, almost aggressively capitalist. The difference is that the Swedish state does not kill ambition. It organises society so ambition can scale without chaos. And this is why Sweden does not suffer the kind of brain drain you see in Southern Europe. Its brightest people do not need to escape to build a future, because Sweden already gives them one. The jobs are there, the capital is there, and the ladder upward is real. The startup numbers make this impossible to ignore. In raw startup density, the United States is still ahead, with roughly 130 startups per 100,000 people, compared with around 50 in Sweden. But that is only half the story. Sweden has around 45 unicorns with a population of just 10.5 million. That is about 4.2 unicorns per million inhabitants, compared with roughly 2.1 in the United States. America is still much bigger in absolute scale, but Sweden is so incredibly efficient that it actually produces billion-dollar companies more densely than the US national average. That is not an accident. Sweden spent decades investing in education, broadband, engineering talent, and early digital adoption. Then it layered that foundation with venture capital and a business culture that rewards risk. That is why global giants like Spotify, Klarna, Mojang, King, and Northvolt came out of Sweden. This is not a sleepy welfare state. It is a high-trust, export-driven capitalist machine disguised as a Nordic social democracy. This is also where Sweden fits naturally into the wider Nordic story. Norway would absolutely belong in this ranking too, but we are skipping it today because we already covered it in depth in a dedicated video. The important point is that the Nordic model is not a single formula. Norway used energy wealth and state capacity. Sweden used entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation density. Different path, same result. Their best people stay. Sweden did not choose between welfare and capitalism. It fused them together, creating one of the most effective talent retention ecosystems in Europe. Before discovering the absolute winner and seeing whether these countries can actually beat the United States, if you found this video informative, we ask you to support our project by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos. And if you want a comparison between the United States and Europe, not only on brain drain, but also on crime, write USA in the comments. Number 6. Switzerland. Start with one simple fact. For 10 years in a row, Switzerland has ranked #1 in the world for global talent competitiveness. While other European countries spend billions educating brilliant engineers, ambitious doctors, and elite researchers only to watch them emigrate, Switzerland transforms itself into the ultimate destination. It is where top-tier careers arrive to stay. How does it manage this? Part of the answer is brutally pragmatic: financial incentives. According to the OECD, the average Swiss worker faces a total tax wedge of about 23.4%, compared with 34.6% across advanced economies. In plain English, if you are a professional, Switzerland lets you keep a noticeably bigger chunk of your salary than almost any other rich country. And it does this while still providing flawless first-world infrastructure and public services that actually work. On top of that, Switzerland doesn't import just any labour. Over the last few decades, the share of highly educated migrants has exploded. Today, more than half of recent arrivals come equipped with a university degree. This is not random mass immigration. It is a constant, deliberate filtration of Europe's best-trained workers into one tiny, highly selective, and incredibly lucrative labour market. Now compare this dynamic with the United States. In absolute terms, America still wins the salary Olympics. Senior software engineers in top US tech hubs can certainly earn more in raw cash than almost anywhere in Europe. But there is a massive catch. In high-tax American states like California or New York, combined federal and state marginal tax rates on top earners can easily exceed 50%. In low-tax Swiss cantons, elite professionals sit on much lower effective rates. More importantly, they willingly trade Silicon Valley's social chaos for one of the safest, most orderly societies on Earth. The German visionary who refuses a 50% tax rate, the Swedish researcher seeking massive capital, the Italian cardiologist demanding both excellence and a functioning state, Switzerland absorbs them all. It is a giant, stable magnet sitting at the centre of the continent. The rest of Europe trains the talent. Switzerland writes the final contract. And now, the question of all questions. Did these European champions actually beat the United States in the war for talent? To answer this, we must not rely on our opinions or ideologies, but on the data. The truth is, who wins depends entirely on who you are and your personal concept of risk. If you are in the top 1%, the absolute elite, America wins, and it is not even close. If you are a founder wanting to build a $10 billion unicorn, a world-class AI developer, or a quantitative finance genius, even the best of Europe is a limit. The US has a depth of venture capital and a single market of 330 million people that fragmented Europe can only dream of. The American system rewards personal risk with equity and stock options, turning brilliant employees into millionaires. It is a machine designed to maximize the extremes, putting absolutely no ceiling on personal wealth. But what if you are in the top 10%? What if you are just an excellent mechanical engineer, a great doctor, or a senior researcher? The people who actually keep the real economy running. Here, the European champions demolish the United States through their invisible salary. In San Francisco, an engineer might make $200,000, but faces massive rent, pays tens of thousands for family health insurance, faces astronomical childcare costs, and lives with constant job anxiety. In Copenhagen or Stockholm, that same engineer might earn $120,000, but they never have to save for their children's college, will never go bankrupt from an illness, and get 5 to 6 weeks of guaranteed paid vacation. In short, America wins if your only goal is to accumulate capital as fast as possible. It is the perfect system for high rollers. Europe wins if your goal is to convert your talent into an exceptional quality of life. Speaking of quality of life, crime is becoming a massive factor in deciding where to live. If you want a dedicated video comparing crime in Europe and the US based on objective data across multiple types of offences, write USA in the comments below. And what would you choose? Would you prefer the high risk and sky-high salaries of the United States or the well-paid stability of Switzerland and Denmark? Let me know in the comments. Unfortunately, a significant part of Europe is completely unable to retain its talent. If you missed the video where I analyse the exact disaster of the European countries everyone is fleeing from, click on the video now appearing on your screen. That's all for today. See you next time.